Careful, it's a rabbit hole, man.
It is.
You heard
What's going on,
they indicted
everybody?
Trump, right?
We have Ash on Comics here. Say hello, Ash.
Hey, Ash.
Always, we have Eric Breen right below him.
Hey, Ash.
Good to see you, Eric.
And back for the second time. And, like, this is, as far as, like, in a week, man. The heck? Frugal, what's going on?
You love me. You really love me.
Hey, how come the audience?
I ruined that. Ruined it already. However, I just like to say thank you again for having me on. Ash, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh, I said, how come the audience only applauds to you?
Oh, they booed me too. You heard that, right?
I thought they were booing Ash.
Yeah.
Well, that was supposed to be at me.
It's a tough crowd. No.
I know it. Well, somebody else had some special noise going on there.
I think that might be our Mr. Breen over there.
Yeah, I have my phone turned on because for some reason ESPN decided I didn't need access to my fantasy league.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a phone so I could hear the commissioner call.
Your phone turns you on to your fantasies?
You know, I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna say hello to the chat.
Hey everybody, Frugal
Hello,
Hired
chat.
Writers.
Astra's here first, and then Zach, who's not even here, was arguing with him, saying that maybe I was just lurking, waiting for you or someone to say it first. I don't know. And then we got Puppeteen in there saying I was lurking first. Well, you guys can read the rest, you know. Marania's here too. We got also Captain Frugal in the chat, and nobody else.
Scared him away already, man.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those weeks, man. It's all my books were last week, and all of a sudden I have like few.
Yeah, my list was incredibly small this week too.
Me too.
Ash, you dropped down from 3 books to 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say my pool was actually kind of average at 2. So
your pool was shallow.
You know, in California, they can't afford the water.
No.
Dude, we've been getting a lot of rain.
But you can't collect it, right? So
Nestle's really happy because they're gonna have a lot more water to siphon out of our water table.
It never rains in California.
Yeah, it's been raining right now.
Bible study a little early tonight on my way home. We got to end it early, guys. Once it gets here.
See if we can wrap this up before Zach gets here. Kidding, Zach.
So if anyone's new here, doesn't know what we're doing on this channel, we did review comic books.
You mean besides us?
Yeah. Yes.
Doesn't know what we're doing here.
I always got to make it because this might be someone's first time watching this, you know. And they might be traumatized by seeing your favorite Yabba Dabba Doo guy, Fred Flintstone, smoking.
Oh my
smoking
gosh,
heater.
he's smoking.
See, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right,
smoking hot.
There I'm a living avatar.
You know, it kind of looks like the back of your house is a cave. You know. All right. So what we're doing here is basically a follow-up stream to our Tuesday nights where we talk about the books that are coming out. Now we're
wait. Are you saying you're crossing the streams?
Cue the view music.
Yeah, I got crickets on that one. My goodness.
You made a Ghostbusters joke, and
I know.
And Vangman doesn't even acknowledge it.
Because we're not purely for him. Because we're not crossing these streams.
Yeah, Captain, I wouldn't blame you if you never came back. That's just not right.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
All right,
I'm hurt.
So for those of you who are just first joining, this is a follow-up to our Tuesday nights stream. Basically, where we do on Tuesday nights are our top 5 5 books on our pull list, and what we think would be the best. Zach will be here in about 5 minutes or minutes, and basically it's a follow-up where we basically decide if those books are actually going to be still in the top 5 tonight. Because I read my books, I got this is only half of it. This is the bottom 5, say. Yeah, let's get right into it. Reviewing them from least favorite to favorites. All right, this.
Did you put your video out yet for the week, Cap?
No, I've just finished doing the reading probably about 2 hours ago, and I got my notes, so I have to film it in the morning and put it up in the morning. Which is
Alright.
not going to be terribly long because I only read 6.
So my number 10 this week, and this is the book I'm gonna be dropping.
Ooh, you're dropping Daredevil.
Oh.
Dun,
I did
dun.
not like this. You kill off a main character that's loved. There's no direction to the story. It just feels like he's just phoning it in now.
Well,
got Crow?
actually, they hinted at Stick being dead too.
There's 2 characters.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but
I'm not gonna. I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Croaked
Foggy Nelson.
Yeah,
again.
They
Off
said he's been dead
panel.
for the past 4 or 5 issues.
yeah,
You just didn't know it.
off panel.
Off panel death, and it's just been like a copy or a mystic clone, or not even a clone. It was just like a hologram or something. I don't know.
Could
Whatever.
be that he's not actually dead.
I don't know.
Oftentimes,
Like
when you let a character die off
it's-
panel, it's so that
I
you didn't see
understand.
the body. It actually
No.
may not have happened, so there could be a red herring. So later on, he makes an appearance. Like, oh, we thought you were dead.
So basically, all it is basically Daredevil getting his ass kicked again. Once again, this time the Hands outsmarting him, making him do what they want him to do. Him he's getting really deep in his Catholic faith is basically hindering him again. It's to the point where he's just woe for me, woe for this. He drove people away because of his petty attitude. Yeah.
So the Hand's giving him the finger.
Like I said, I just can't wait for this book to finally end or get someone else on it and actually can write it better. Zdarsky started off strong. I agree with you, Ash, on that. The Prison was better than this. It's ever since the resets, number 1, it's just been like half-ass, mainly because I think that's when he took over doing Batman. And also,
He's also got like 3 indie books, and
not only that, they don't even have. Chicharito's only doing the cover. He's not even doing the interior art. They couldn't get Mike Hawthorne. They had some other guy come in who was worse than both of them. And
Yeah, I
amazing.
made that a mention in my notes. I did not care for the artwork at all in this issue.
Now, I know some people are like, oh, because I know Zach's will come here and say he liked it, so you're going to hear what he liked it. I'm just saying it's less than mid for me.
But you're just holding up empty air.
Literally, I wish I didn't pay that much for the empty
There's
air.
not even.
So,
I don't understand.
Eric, when you put your glasses on,
It's not.
you'll see.
It isn't 2012.
I would rather go back to 2012. Marvel.
I would too, but comics aren't the only reason.
All right.
Wait a minute. No, I take that back. I had a stroke in 2013.
So,
I was got 2014.
You're gonna ask, what could be better than that? My number 9 is this, and I paid $9 for this, and it just, for me, is almost worse than Zdarsky's book. $9. It's basically the Black Knight versus Crazy Alice in Wonderland, a murderess, and it basically the events they have is she brings Wonderland to, I guess, New York City.
New
York
York
City.
So if you watch the plot of Shazam 2, it's pretty much they're ripping off that plot.
Oh, it's perfect. I haven't seen Shazam 2 yet, so that's.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying I've seen it before. I mean, maybe it's coincidental that they did it. Maybe this book was already written story beforehand, but like I said, Shazam 2 did it better. Yeah, I don't know. And like, it's usually a character I usually don't follow, and it's $9 for 72 pages.
ooh,
So
steep price.
yeah, I mean,
You can almost get a new DC comic for that.
I mean, it does go into as far as Morgan Le Fay's in here too, and the Knights of Camelot, but not even all the cool knights at all. They had they had Lancelot and they had 2 others, but like there was no King Arthur. If he wasn't even mentioned. I guess I just got the point where I'm just like, why was this book even put out? Not even Cheesecake can help it.
So I got a question for you, Mac.
Yeah.
Did you watch Dynamite last night?
Did not. Voting spoilers.
No, it's I was gonna say if you did, I was gonna ask you when Juice Robinson said he's going to kick Ricky Stark's ass in New York City.
Oh, I heard something about that. Yeah.
Whenever you hear that now, does that go through your head?
A little bit. New York City. Yes.
Skip.
What's up, Skip? Come us live, watching us on Twitch. Yes, right, because we're also streaming over on Twitch.
Skip is still celebrating the Kings' first playoff appearance in 17 years. I texted him last night and said, "Were you even old enough to legally have a beer to celebrate last time the Kings made the playoffs?"
Yeah, that is a long time ago.
He was 20.
Yeah. My number 8. Not the Zub Wells guy that's doing it. It's a different sub. Started off good. Rushed ending. I don't know why they rushed the ending, but the ending just felt so rushed and just kind of like this anticlimactic. So that's why it's the bottom of the pile.
That Jim Zub.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if Jim Zub married Zed Wells?
Jim Wells. I don't want that. All right. So anyway, so this is a David Finch art. So it's got that cover. Let's go for it. It's like I said, it's just wrapped up very anticlimactic. I wish it would have been better. But I gotta look at that. The only actually compelling stories we've gotten from anything with Red Sony has been from Dan Abbott. Crossovers. I feel like the character is getting worse and worse with each person taking over. That being said, the first 4 issues weren't that bad, but they're kind of a little bit above mid.
Overall, this was a very disappointing week, in my opinion, for comic books.
For me too, yeah. For some first stuff. All right.
That's because you didn't get my picks.
Well, we'll get to your picks.
Well, I'm sure that'll make it even worse, but okay.
Wait, you don't have a you're feeling on sound effects.
We had to have it piped in. It was fake. We are filmed in front of a live studio audience, and none of them finds my jokes funny.
We're holding it at gunpoint. All right. My number 7.
Wait, but hey, Captain, don't you have something in that toy of yours that could announce the numbers for Venkman?
I don't. This doesn't have numbers.
Yeah,
I can.
Does that do anything but applause?
Yeah, I've got an opening.
Do we need more than that?
I've got the cheering. I've got booing. I got 3. I got the Mario. Well, I got 3 that I programmed in, like the Mario death. And I got the.
Ironically, that's what the ending like this is.
Yeah. I got that one.
You need the thing from The Price is Right when a contestant loses.
I could put that in here. So yeah, that'd be a good
And then you
one.
can just play it after your jokes.
Thank you so much.
What are friends for, right?
TikTok 1070, Ivan Rice doing the alternate cover for this. Paid a little more for this. Sadly, this book, I love Ram V, but it just when you put the Vigil in here and make him smarter than everybody in the Bat Family, it kind of just makes the Bat Family look like a joke. And yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. They're like, because they're literally at the end, they're like, because they hack Oracle's computer, like, you need to fix this, otherwise we'll fix it for you. You know, the whole situation. I was like, who the heck are these people? If you want, it's like Ghostmaker coming in and telling Batman, you need to do this, or I'll do it for you. You know, just showing him up. It's getting the same at James Tynion vibes.
Hey, Ash, can I have a countdown?
3, 2, 1. One of these days, you're going to learn that the crack goes before the 3, 2, 1. But
yeah,
how many times do we have to tell you you've been doing your thing wrong?
He lives on he is on the left side of the country.
that's correct. The far left.
All right. My number 6.
Number 6.
This is an interesting book because, well, I gotta say, it once you understand the concept of what they're going for, it actually is really good. When I first up the book, because I didn't realize this was basically based off the actual television show that they had back in 2019. So I went into this like blind. I was like, you know what? I'll check it out. It's a new one through Titan. And I was like, okay. Didn't really understand it. There was too many characters. They were introduced. I had no idea who they were. It was just too much all at once, too much information. So I went and started watching the show because apparently it's on Tubi. I watched a couple of episodes. It explained more. Now that I went to go back to read the first 2 issues and read the third one, now I understand more of what's going on. It's Brandon Eastman writing it. Maybe that's why. Not sure, but it's a really good book.
Well, if you need to know anything about Kamen Rider, you could just talk to the pretty boy that does his streams with Jimmy and Pixel.
Works?
No, Jimmy is Quirks. And
I know,
Jimmy's a lot of things. Pretty boy is not one of them.
Does he mean Oz?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
reached out to Geek Show Joe.
Yeah, because I said I remember Oz used to do reviews of Kamen Rider, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Long time ago.
Yeah, like I said, I went into this. I mean, I've grown out of the whole Power Rangers phase like a long time ago. I don't watch that stuff. So I started watching the show. I was like, the show is awesomely bad. I'll put it that way. It's one of those shows it's the writing is so hokey and so is up.
Yeah, that was the reason. That was the reason to watch it. Unless you were a kid. If you were a little kid, then it was probably cool. But I remember it came out like I was in my 20s when the first Power Rangers, and we used to just watch it for laugh. The same reason you'd watch like Hawk the Slayer.
Yeah.
Like it was just so hokey.
They actually used guns in this show. They actually killed someone with a gun, like right to the head. Now it was it's supposed to be a humanized looking robot, but still, he just pulled the gun, pulled trigger, and killed him. I've never seen that on Power Rangers, so I was like, pretty much.
They're
like I
gonna
said,
have to take it out. That's offensive now. We need to control that.
It's approved.
Remember, boys and girls, gun control is using both hands and proper trigger discipline.
Yes.
That's
Always
correct.
empty your clip before you put a new one.
That's right. And if you're done, double tap just to make sure.
Yep.
Always double tap. Leave nothing to chance.
So like I said,
it's a Zach.
so my
Welcome.
recommendation is if you go watch the show and then go watch this because it feels like they're doing a loose adaptation of the show. But yeah. All right.
What's up, Ashron Comics?
It's just Ash.
What's up on Ash? Well, I don't know what's up him.
Just says Ash.
Is that because you're a huge Ash fan? Just out of curiosity.
I was just using your full name.
I thought you were asking what's up him.
My full name is not on
Your
comment.
full YouTube name.
Oh.
Guys, just address.
No, let us fight. I'm just kidding.
Just say AOC, okay?
Well, I was asking, is the Ash because you're a huge Evil Dead Ash fan? Just curious.
Yes, there is a backstory to it that now is not the appropriate time. But yes, it does have to do with me being a fan of.
Well, I'm a huge
He's a
Evil Dead fan
collector.
too, so huge.
Yeah, he's a collector of ash cans, okay?
Fair
And he
enough.
burns bad comics, turns them into hash.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right. Number 5. This is a book that keeps surprising me, and I'm curious where it's going to be on your list, Frugal.
Number 5.
Gary Duggan, and I was talking to Marani. It's got to be a ghostwriter because this was a 4 out of 5 for me. I can't tell you. It's just Iron Man just kicking the villain's ass. It was supposed to be the big bad villain. Just beats the shit out of him.
You gave it that high of a score?
Yeah.
That's really high. Yeah.
Wow, my score is way different from that.
Well, like I said, there was the only thing I didn't like about it was basically the whole Emma Frost at the end.
How about the whole anti-Trump thing that they had to throw in there?
I didn't catch that.
You didn't catch the little Trump rub? Well,
No, I'm also
Wow.
not looking for it either.
Yeah, where he buys companies because he's going to make the company great again.
Oh yeah, that thing.
That's what they were doing.
It didn't come off cringy to me. It didn't come off, is insulting.
Okay, I don't get insulted by it. I just think they're stupid, and I knocked it a point,
Yeah,
full point for
exactly, yeah.
stupidity on the issue. So that took it down huge, full point for that, because I'm getting tired of that crap. I don't read to be lectured to, and
Sure.
all that garbage that's going on right now. If you're gonna do a political rub, at least do it with some wit.
Yeah,
like
he
you
comes
said,
on here to get lectured too.
Yeah.
I
I
thought that's why I came here.
yeah.
No, you just come here to get verbally abused.
It's the trickle down effect. Then I lecture to you. But like I said, I give it a 4 because I just didn't care for the whole Emma Frost thing. He's going to Emma Frost for help. I'm sick of Emma Frost. She's become the Deadpool.
Yeah.
In Marvel. She's everywhere.
Mariana,
Emma Frost,
your
like
thoughts in the
every
comments.
villain, pretty much, who becomes not a villain anymore.
She's basically
becomes
become the
lame.
horror of Marvel. She's in every book.
Emma Frost was great when she was the White Queen for the Hellfire Club, and then they decided, oh no, she's gonna be an X-Men now. She's all redeemed, and she's lame. She's
I
been
will say,
lame ever since.
I found this to have a good art, and I thought it was a decent story. But as I said, I knocked it a full point for that because I'm just getting tired of that. It would have had a 7.4, which is above average for for me, which is 7 is average. So, but as I said, it lost a point because I'm just tired of that crap.
Like I
If you're
said,
gonna do it witty. So I go, okay, that's a good one.
Well, 7
Instead
is
of
a
that, just-
3.5, so that's really close to Venkman's rating.
Yeah, stick
like
it
I
with
said,
it real good.
Virgo, it's been a lot better than they've done in since Bendis.
Fair enough. That's true.
So instead of like a punch in the face, it's like an open-handed slap now.
With a glove.
Have you seen that by any chance? I just discovered that just a couple days ago. Power slap. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Saw that. Yeah.
Wait, which one? The face or the butt?
It's the face. They take
now they have the girls slapping each other's butts.
What?
Yes, that's the news. It's evolving, bro.
Oh, well, I was saying, this is they slap each other in the face and try to knock each other out. It's like this is the dumbest thing ever. But I have to admit, I sat and watched it because it was so stupid.
See?
We have evolved to the Ow My Balls phase of Idiocracy, and you are now one of the audience.
But you said the girls are smacking each other in the butt. How do you knock somebody out? Well, I guess some of these girls, their brains are probably in there, and same with some of the guys. So knock them out with smacking her.
I imagine the pain threshold is if you can't.
I can't imagine a girl being able to hit hard enough anyone in the butt to do anything.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's entertainment for some.
Like even when I was a little kid, my mom had to use like implements when she spanked me because her bare hand couldn't hurt me.
But my last.
And now Ash has all of his dates do that. Ash has mommy issues.
My final comment on the whole slapping thing competition is that I saw one of the guys, his face was like so swollen up, he almost looked like he had brain damage because they're not wearing helmets.
Yeah,
it's like boxing with basically bare knuckle boxing without wearing the head stuff into this Rocky,
But at least with the MMA and boxing, you try not to get hurt. You try to defend yourself, and this is just you're going to take it, and you take turns trying to knock the other person. I just don't get it.
One girl slapped another girl, and she went down, and she was seizuring.
Jeez,
golly!
It's because she got hit in the ear.
No, ooh,
yeah.
Wait a minute, I thought they smacked each other in the asses. That's really bad. Hey,
well, like I said, there's both. There's both sports. There's across the face. The guys do it, the girls do it, and I'm waiting for the guys to smack the guys in the butt because right now it's only the girls, and that's usually I'm assuming that's a strip club thing. No,
so we're only a couple years away then from a kick each other in a balls league. Then with butt kicking.
So I gotta say that's not an official sport, but ball tag's always been a thing, even when I was in high school.
Well, yeah,
I never played it, but I knew guys that did it. It was stupid.
Right,
yeah.
But when you see somebody get hit, it's funny. When you get hit, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I'd want to see a sport of kicking each other in the nads. Ugh.
So Morania wants to point out for that Iron Man book, she said it was a 4.5 out of 5 for me. I didn't like the end myself, which is why I lost 4.5 points. But the art is solid. So the story, Skip saying Trub Rub. That sounds salacious.
Salacious.
Salacious. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I like my word better.
Now we've heard it both ways.
Yes.
Remember, boys and girls.
But she's like me. Morania says, "Yeah, I didn't notice the Trump rub. So it was subtle for me, who is sensitized to the nonsense, And she said Duggan stole Tony's ball back from Hellcat and gave him an extra pair.
But this is why I like these conversations because sometimes maybe it makes you go, maybe I was too hard on it for that.
Yeah.
So I appreciate
I look at it this way. If Morania likes it, they're going in the right direction.
I have to agree with you there.
Yeah.
I can't really
Yeah.
argue with her views on
Or
Iron
the
Man.
bar's been so low for so long.
Right? It's like a starving person. Like you can just feed them a bowl of cockroaches, and they're just gonna be like, "Oh, so good."
Yeah. Just think of how all the Spider-Man fans would be if we got a good Spider-Man series.
Imagine if Marvel just comes out and says that we're going to make him Spider-Cuck. Fans would like it. Anyway, going to my number 4, and
Number 4.
and you better
Fantastic
appreciate this,
Four?
Ash.
Oh, there we go. There's one on my list. See, notice how when you get up to my list, it's in the top 5.
Great start for this. I want to see where it goes. Hopefully, it stays in the top 5 as the weeks go by. Very intriguing. There is some gore in this, a little bit. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. It's Mark Millar, and more can I say about that?
Pretty much all you gotta say these days.
Yeah, these days, it's Millar, or as they pronounce it, Miller, but it's not Frank. So it's good.
That's true. It's not Frank.
Or Mike.
Although it's a good time to be a comic fan because you could get both Millers. They're both making comics.
Technically, all 3 of them is, but one of them is blacklisted from Marvel.
There's only 2.
No, there's Mike. There's Mike S. Miller.
Who?
He's the artist who did Injustice.
Who? What's Injustice?
Mike S. Miller is in the minors. We're talking about people in the majors.
My number 3. Stargirl and the Lost Children, number 5 out of 6. This has been one of my favorite ongoing, or I guess little limited ongoing series. Sad there's only one more issue. I really need to get off their freaking ass and fire Megan Fitzmartin and let Jeff Johns write an actual ongoing.
Yes.
Or give it to Jeremy Adams or something. Let him do an ongoing Stargirl or something with the characters, because I think as far as anyone else writing Stargirl other than Jeff Johns, I think Jeremy Adams would be good on it.
Hey, it says here, new Stargirl ongoing to be written by Tom Taylor.
Tony.
Jay's not even here. And does he pay you?
I thought Jay was here.
Do you have a fiber account?
Or did he leave?
Do you have a fiber account? Did he pay you? Say that. What's up, Austin? And hello to Eloise. What's going on?
That will not be on my list this week because I was dumb and put it on last week's list.
Well,
technically it was
lucky. You were lucky and you got it yours last week.
Technically, it was released online last week,
Mm-hmm.
but physical came out this week.
Well, actually, some comic shops had it early, and some of us got a hold of it a little early, evidently, and didn't realize it. But
Yeah.
You lucky sons of guns.
well, I feel bad. It's like I put it on, I could have edited it out and changed it. I almost did. I booted it
You know
up.
what?
I put it in my editor, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I just left it anyway.
What was it it replaced for last week? Because there's a lot of books last week.
I don't know. I don't have my notes here with me for those, but it was pretty. It usually goes pretty high. That's been a solid series, and that's one I wish give Stargirl her own ongoing series with competent artist and writing team.
Just give me Stargirl and the JSA.
Yeah,
That's all I
that would
want.
be fantastic.
Right.
The problem is there isn't very many competent writing artist teams.
That's why I
And
said Jeremy
Stargirl-
Adams.
As much as you guys are a fan, I know you're not gonna like hearing this. She's a C-list character, so
Right, and she could be
so
better.
there's not enough talent to go around.
Mhm.
They don't have enough to fill out the A-list characters, so she would get the crumbs. So she'd get someone like Vita Ayala writing it.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. I think she's a C-list because not a lot of people know her.
You know,
She hasn't had a long cast, but if
I'm just
had a
tired
good
of all
team,
this
it could be better.
misogynist, racist talking about Vita. You guys.
I disagree because they're in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. They're going to give Vita Ayala the A-list characters, and they're only going to leave the C-listers for the good ones.
So, my number 2 is a book I normally wouldn't read, but it had one of my childhood shows characters, from IDW. are launched there, and they're doing a second volume of this. That teaming up with Boom Studios to bring us Power Rangers versus Ninja Turtles, or I guess not really verse, but yes, as issue 4, issue 3 was awesome. Even more issue 4 because the Rangers no longer have their main power source. They using mutagen, and their power coins became Animorphs. There's a fight going on Dimension X. Shredder's regrettably teaming up with the Turtles to take on Krang. There's a Megazord at the freaking end of this. It's just been fun. Dan Mora doing the cover and the interior arts. You have Ryan Parrott from the Power Rangers. It has just been fun. This is a book I normally wouldn't pick up. Like I said, I just picked up on a whim. I want to go back and read the first one, crossover. So that's my number 2.
I've never seen Ryan Parrott disappoint.
Me neither.
I've never heard any single person ever go, it's Ryan Parrott.
The only person I know that reads Power Ranger comic books is probably going to be, I don't know if Bats does, but I thought he did.
Bats really did.
Yeah, and then Joe's Geek Show.
I read them for a little while, and then I dropped out of them because they started going out of the realm I had any understanding of, and I never watched the show. I seen a couple episodes.
That's how I was a Kamen Rider. I had to go back and watch the show and be like, oh, now I understand what's going on in this. It's kind of like a loose adaptation.
I seen a couple episodes of the first season. I forgot if it was on Netflix or something with my son. I mean, the Pink Ranger was all right, but otherwise, I couldn't get into it.
Can you believe Joe Johnson?
Yeah, she was all right.
Yeah, she was always right when I was growing up.
I bet.
All right. My number 1 is the book I was shocked to see coming back. I thought it was over with. I thought they're going to put the writer on something else, maybe. It is Venom, The Protector, Volume 2. Micheline.
Oh, I forgot that came out. Well, I think I should have got that.
The artist is Karami. I forget what his last name. But it is a fun book. Like I said, I love Micheline's writing on this. I love going back to when Venom was still a wanted criminal. He wasn't being praised by the heroes. He had to deal with cops. He had to deal with people trying to turn him in. The art has just been fun. Call back to the art from the 90s.
I like that cover.
Yeah, that's kind of what the interior art is, basically. I said I've just been having fun with this. Now, some might say he's a mid writer. Maybe he was back in the day, but I think he's improved. Because I remember Micheline worked with on Spider-Man.
He worked on Spider-Man for a long time.
Todd McFarlane, and I like the stories. I thought they were just as good as the ones before.
Yeah.
Well, I keep in mind I don't use mid as like a pejorative.
Like I said, I said he was a phenomenal writer in Spider-Man. A lot of people we take advantage for, like as far as writers back there, like we probably I said true. Maybe he isn't as great as some of the other ones, Roger Stern, John Byrne, Claremont. But man, when you take away that level of writing and you just basically put it down to where the bar is above everything else, but the writers are below the bar, right. As far as quality. Like I said, this has just been a fun story. I do recommend you go check out the first series and then check out this one. It's going to be a 5-issue series probably again.
I did not realize that came out, so I've already missed one this week.
Yeah. He's saying, "Hey, you pies." That's what he's saying, Austin.
A mid-tier writer back then, you'd have to get drunk to compare them to what it is today.
I would say like today, most of the writers are below mid, and most of the decent writers are mid, with a few exceptional people like you got your Jeff Johns and so forth, but they're way the exception.
So many good writers back in the day, from the 70s all the way up to the 80s, and like I said, it was kind of hard to like not rank them by your favorite things. But as I've been going back and reading some of that stuff, I did like. I remember I going through the stories in the Spider-Man 300s, I believe, in after Roger Stern. I did like Michelin on Spider-Man. Now, my only complaint about this is that there's no Spider-Man in this. I like Venom, but I like him going after Spider-Man. You know, one of them being an ultra villain.
Yeah,
But-
Venom without Spider-Man is kind of like Joker without Batman.
But we do have Nick Fury, the original Nick Fury in this. We also have
AKA
Silver Sable.
Zach's favorite.
Yeah,
Really?
Silver Sable is in here too.
I'm surprised he was able to put the regular Nick Fury in it. They even
Right?
let him.
I know. It's like- they're like, oh crap! Already.
Well, he's
printed.
writing the story like it's back in time, right?
Yes, back there in the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah,
Early 90s.
because White Nick Fury's not even. He's
Yeah,
like the
but,
Watcher now or something.
Yeah,
but they pushed him
Yeah,
out so
he's-
hard.
yeah.
I don't think they want anybody to ever know the character was white to begin with.
I think so too.
Because you
They
look at how
have a
they try to
new-
confuse it, so make it so confusing with him. It's almost like, well, he's never really existed. It's always been this one.
Yeah.
All right.
They have a new miniseries coming out soon about Nick Fury. It does have the new one, but then it does also have like the original Nick Fury as well, like from his Howling.
All right,
Commandos.
guys. Those are my new books of the week. I'm gonna let whoever wants to go next go next. I get my other ones out.
All right, Zach, you're the co-host. What's going on?
Come on,
What's
whip
your
it
books?
out.
Oh wait, do I? Oh, y'all want me? Okay, I'm used to
I know,
bringing
Breen-
up the caboose.
I know Breen's got one book too.
Well, we can let Breen go. I
mean,
only got 2 books, but I didn't get to go to the store this week.
Breen's muted. He's probably eating popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just here, listening.
he's
Oh, what was your
ready-
number
he's-
one?
My number one was Venom
Why?
because it's the best book of the week, though.
Why?
Why didn't you read it?
Even Eric Breen doesn't like David Michelini.
Oh
Wow.
wow!
No, I just think there's a better use of his talent than
Then
writing a character that I honestly haven't liked a whole lot since the very early appearances.
Honestly, instead of having doing a second round of Venom, I'd rather have an Iron Man.
Yeah, it's I'm not. I said I'm indifferent to Venom. I think he's overused, but that's believe me,
Yeah,
that's not a
what
new
he
thing
is.
in
You
comics.
you think Emma Frost is overused? Venom has like
Well,
he's way up there. in terms of
Venom was
overuse.
actually done well by Cates. The whole stuff. He made him cool again.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I think is
but-
weird is they're doing this throwback Venom series when they've so radically evolved the character.
Yeah.
To me, I
Well,
think
they're
that
doing
this sort of
lots of-
confuses the issue because
They're
they're,
doing lots
they're
of those
not even the
throwbacks,
same
though.
anymore.
That's true, but they're doing lots of those. Like they have all these throwback Spider-Man series, and
It'd
They're
be like
all
doing the
taking
equivalent would
place
be
at
like
different-
doing a Jason Todd Robin series right now. Like he's Red Hood. He's so different. Like I don't.
It'd be now if you did a Jason Todd series and he got a hold of Adam Strange's Zeta beam and zapped off to Ran and stole his wife from him. That's about the same at this point.
was that the Tom King
Sense a
book?
Tom King joke in there.
No,
I'm
no.
pretty sure it was the Tom-
Yeah, this is the Tom King books I ordered.
No,
he
it's thinking,
loses,
like,
he
give
loses his wife to
I
Jason.
was thinking Jason Todd in space. I mean, because at this point, Venom. Next, we're going to find out that he was an ex-herald of Galactus.
Yeah. I am
Well, to
not
be
a
fair,
fan of what
Venom
they're doing
is an
with that.
alien, so being in space is not
Exactly.
that.
That is true. That is true.
I'm not a big fan of the direction they took the character, though.
I actually thought Venom being a space knight was a unique. Like
I hate that direction. The Donny Cates direction was good.
All right.
I don't like the whole let's
Wasn't
make his son now Venom and Eddie Brock is now a space god.
Wasn't
Like,
that
whatever.
Bendis that made him into Guardians of the Galaxy? Or was that Lanning?
Bendis wrote him into Flash Thompson, not Eddie Brock. This is when it was Agent Venom. So
Okay.
it was a different Venom. It wasn't Eddie. Or
It wasn't the correct Venom. It was the worst Venom.
Agent Venom was awesome. What are you talking about? Agent Venom was.
I liked Agent Venom as well.
Agent Venom was this a guy stealing Eddie
Bendis
Brock's
lovers
suit?
confirmed. Outed.
Thank you, Captain. Okay.
So that is they shouldn't have called him Venom at all because Eddie Brock is Venom. Otherwise, they're passing a mantle on.
So
Not anymore.
well, Matt
They did
Gargan
pass
was
the mantle.
Venom too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
Didn't say it was
hasn't been
great.
Venom at this point?
Well,
true.
also, yeah, think about Dark Avengers. They were purposely trying to steal it. That's why they had a new Iron Man. They had a new Wolverine.
That's true. Okay,
Now, on with your books.
on with my books.
All right, let's look at the better pull list.
Bottom of the
Impress
list.
me, Zach.
This one's not going to impress you. It didn't impress me. It's
Man.
the mighty Snore. I mean Thor.
Oh, you were so excited about this.
I really was, and I was really let down. The story itself is interesting. The interior art was a bit of a letdown. It was less than I was expecting. I do like what Doom is doing. He's trying to become a god. He has like this really cool dialogue in here where he's like, the problem with gods is that they gave people free will. It was this nice little, it was a very Doom-ish dialogue piece. But other than that, I was let down with this. I may be dropping this. I think I'm just gonna go hunt down the Donny Cates issues.
If you want more Doctor Doom, check out Venom. You got Shield, Nick Fury. Possibly we're gonna have Gary. What's the guy's name? Jim Dugan. Yeah, you like
Dum Dugan?
Might be in there if they're doing a Shield story. But you got Silver Sable and her Wild Pack.
Sorry, guys. This is part 2 of the Venom review. It was just disguised as Thor.
Yes, I'm just saying because Doctor Doom is gonna be the ultimate big bad villain. It's gonna be original Doom, not the new Doom.
It's still Victor Von Doom, though. Like
No, it's not. Marvel hasn't been the same since the 90s.
Hickman, Fantastic Four, man. I'm just saying. Give it a try. Ash liked it. Ash wasn't planning to like it.
Really good.
We converted him. We can convert you too. Speaking of converting,
yeah, but I want to stay with my own religion.
This one, I wasn't super let down. It was just really weird. This is Avengers Beyond #1. This is what the nonstop Avengers series that Derek Landy was doing.
Zoom in on that face. I want to see
the one that like picked up like in the middle of the story. It leads into this.
A little closer.
Wait, are you telling me nonstop Avengers stopped?
Yes.
Look at that. It's Greg Brady.
Nonstop Avengers or All Action Avengers, whatever it was called.
All Out Avengers, I think it was.
I think it was that. It might
All
have
Out
been
Avengers.
All Out Avengers.
Yeah.
So it leads into this because the Avengers find out that the Beyonder is the one that's been tampering with their memories. So the Beyonder shows up and like there's like some super powerful god being that created the Beyonders race. And now he's after the Beyonder and the Beyonder wants the Avengers to help him.
Man.
It's really
now there's a Beyond the Beyonder.
There's a Beyond the Beyonder. Yeah.
And that's the issue I had with the issue is they keep going too big. You go big consistently too much, you can't go back. And it's just there's no more. It's almost like, what do you care anymore? There's just always something that's going to be the next so huge it's impossible. It's like we've seen the next so huge.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Did he stop at the Hellfire Gauntlet on the way there?
I mean,
those shoulder pads.
Yeah, he's got like the big shoulder.
He stopped by Rob Liefeld's house.
I mean, you know what? It could be Rob Liefeld. It really could be. But the art inside was good for Greg Land. It wasn't too photorealistic. It was
like the girls look like porn stars. I like it.
Well, the faces always look like they're having orgasms.
I was about to say.
I know you guys have never seen what that looks like, but
I'm not seeing the problem here. But
cue the Doom music.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Zach's not seeing the problem that he's never seen what a no face looks like.
I like how Breen is quiet for like my whole overview of the issue, and he pops in right there at the end with the zinger. That's Avengers Beyond though. Well, I agree though. It's like it just gets too big, and at some point, this would have been really fine. It would have been great if it was just the Beyonder salty of overall of Secret Wars, and you just like, hey, I remember you. I'm back to kick your asses. Like that would have been a better story. I feel.
Yeah, it's like every writer. The next story they have to top how big the next villain is. How much farther can you go?
You don't need to. It ends up becoming the end of Men in Black, where it's like they're playing marbles with the different galaxies. Like, except now it's like those galaxies are being played with as marbles. Like,
two things
doesn't matter. Yeah,
two things. We have a Beyonder in the Monica Rambeau story, different Beyonder.
Mhm.
and then we have this Beyonder. So there's more than one Beyonder.
Yes.
No, there's just one Beyonder, I thought.
No. Well,
Is the
think about it, it's
Monica
like a
Rambo
whole-
a throwback, or is it a current? Like, is it taking place
It's a
in current
current. I
I think it's current, but
Oh.
if you know and notice the story, it's like there's a whole bunch of these Beyonders now.
Yeah. This is like there's a whole race of them. That's what
Yeah.
he's talking
I
about.
guess it
There's
makes
like-
sense because Hickman did it in his Secret Awards thing. There was like the Doom stole the powers of like 3 Beyonders
I don't remember entirely. I don't think the Beyonder
from the
was
Battle
in
World. That's what
Secret
became
Wars.
God. As it became God Emperor Doom.
I
They're-
don't believe that was it. I could be wrong.
They're just
But I
overdoing
don't
it so
believe-
much we're beyond caring.
And the other thing I want to mention is that of course Breen's gonna come here for zingers. He loves zingers. He's old. He likes sweets.
So, yeah, Furley should have said. Never mind.
Chocolate zingers or the
Skip, I will argue. I will
Is there actually
officially
a
argue.
candy called Zingers?
No.
They're like imitation Hostess products.
Yeah,
Yeah, the little Debbie. Well, now they are owned by Hostess. They got so Hostess now does make zingers, but
No
But they do
big
taste good.
delights and every bite's for you.
they're kind of like a
They're
Twinkie,
good, but
but they have like a frosting on top. They
So
can
what
have a
would you-
chocolate and vanilla and
Yeah.
a couple other flavors. I
it's
think.
the strangest thing. 40 years ago, when people were a lot thinner, snack cakes were a lot bigger. Now they're smaller, and the people that eat them are all fat.
Well, it's because they eat 50 of them.
That's also
I knew
true.
there was a reason.
All right,
Minus 6
next
pack.
up, ambassadors. I got this cover too. I like this
number is
cover.
this?
This is my number. How many books did I get this week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
This is lucky-
take that,
This is lucky
Pimp
number
Daddy
7.
Frugal.
Number
Two
7?
of the guys bought books off my list.
Lucky
Okay.
number 7.
Zach,
Oh.
unlike your predecessor, could you tell me what the book is about so I can
Okay.
decide whether or not I would like to get it?
So
Well,
basically,
spoil
so
it?
the
Okay.
premise. No, you can give a story away without spoiling it. Basically, there is this super scientist. She's the character here on the cover, the one with the Korean logo. She has created basically the ability to give people superpowers, but here's how they're going. They're going to distribute, like they're going to give people superpowers, but they're only giving it to like 8 people. And it's not going to be picked on like who can afford it or, who's the most influential. Like it's based on their morality, I think, basically. So yeah, I mean, the cover A has like it's 6 billion people, 8 have powers. So you can even see here, like, I mean, people from different nationalities, I guess, are going to be trying to be one of the lucky few that get superpowers. Really interesting premise. It does have some really gory moments that, wow, Frank Quietly, I was already on the fence about you, and you kind of are pushing me more
What
and
do you
more
do with
away.
the
Quietly is the interior artist.
Quietly does the interior
Who
for
did
this
that
one.
cover?
I don't know who does this cover.
It looks a little bit like Jack Geist, but
I
don't know
believe
like
I believe each issue is done by a different interior artist, though.
Hmm.
So if Quietly did this one, I think there's somebody else.
That's not
doing
Quietly's
the
cover.
issue.
Quietly did the original at the other cover. That's
No, I
this-
know,
this
I know
is
that's
not
not Quietly.
yeah.
Yeah,
I said it kind of
But-
looks like Jackson Geist, but I don't. know if
I'll
he's
look
doing
up.
anything now.
I'll look up and see who it was. Yeah, but the woman who's the scientist was an interesting character. And yeah, Quietly's art actually, as far as Frank Quietly's art that goes, this one I did not like. It didn't alienate me. Like I actually didn't mind it as much as I have his art in the past.
It's gonna grow on you, I'm telling you.
Kinda. All
That
right,
is-
that was number 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna
number-
ask you real quick. What do you think of the president's reaction?
We're doomed.
Like, it
That was kind of funny. That was actually kind of funny because they find out like they're giving superpowers to people, but only people who are nice. Oh, we're
Yeah.
doomed.
So the cover Zach showed up was done by Pepe Larraz.
No.
Pepe. I like Pepe. I think he and Mark are doing the big time, the big crossover between all the Millerverse books that's supposed to be coming out later in the summer.
Yeah, next one. Carl Kerschel does the interior. Next issue.
Of the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, number 6. This is one Vinkman and I have strong opposing views
And then
on,
Travis Charis does the third one.
but I really enjoyed this.
Is Ash
And-
up too late? He couldn't give you his number 6 breakdown for.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, we got Daredevil number 9 here. I really like this issue. The plot twist I did not see coming. I thought it was like really gut wrenching, and I was like, oh dang. But yeah, it's Daredevil. Like he's pushed these people that he's been training too far. A lot of them weren't ready for the kind of commitment that he was asking, and so he's like, getting more and more isolated.
But that's Samson's opinion, and he's a douche anyway.
Yeah.
Samson, he just looks weird to me too, looking like Sasquatch.
Yeah, ever since they mixed him.
Yeah, but the Stormwinds are showing their faces like the supervillains again, or like these like power influential
they're working
types.
with the hand.
I'm
like,
they're
these
working
guys
with the hand. So I mean, I thought it was interesting though. I really liked it. The fact that we find out like characters that had been around that were actually not alive; they were zombies. I thought it was. I liked it. I thought it was a really interesting plot twist. And then it sets up for the next. We thought this was going to be the issue where the Avengers show up to confront Daredevil, but it looks like that'll actually be issue 10, the next issue.
Which is funny. They're confronting the Punisher at the same time.
Yeah, well, they should be going after the Punisher. They've gone after the Punisher in the past. Actually, I remembered that the other day. There was a miniseries where they went after the Punisher.
Well, in the Punisher series, last issue, now at the very end of that series, the Avengers are there to come after them. It's like, wait a minute, so where are they at?
Yeah, they're all over the place. They're just like cockroaches. Yeah, they're everywhere. All right, I did not see this on Vinkman's list. I'm curious if anybody else picked this up because I actually like this a lot more than I thought I was going to. Unstoppable Doom Patrol #1. This is from Dennis Culver, and the artist name is Burnham.
Burnham.
The art, I actually really like his art. It's got this almost. It reminded me of some manga that I read. It's got less like the sketchy quality to it. So I really dug this. So it's the Doom Patrol. They go, they're going around like saving people that have a meta gene, and they end up going to Gotham City to protect this guy. He was like the subject of a science experiment. And it's got some of the faces that people recognize from the show. You see, there's Robot Man, Negative Man. There's Elasti-Woman or Elastigirl, whichever one she is. Crazy Jane seems like she's adopted the Chief's personality as one of her own. So right in front, wearing the COVID mask, is the Chief. That's the only weird part, is that it looks like he's wearing the COVID mask or she's wearing the COVID mask. They also have this new character they call Beast Girl. I thought she was just going to be like a girl version of Beast Boy, but she's not. She actually has a very different set of powers. And then this new guy who gets introduced in the back, this big like thing-looking guy. Really interesting issue. I liked it. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did, but yeah, really, really interesting.
So this is Chris Burnham.
Chris Burnham.
Yeah, the reason I was thinking it was Eric Burnham, because Eric Burnham worked on Ghostbusters. Well, he's a writer.
Okay, different.
So I was like, he's doing art.
So now you're on your Ghostbusters stuff. When I make a joke earlier, you couldn't take the Ghostbusters at all.
But yeah, this was really interesting.
Fergal, if you're gonna get grumpy because you haven't had your pudding, put you in a timeout.
I need my pudding pop.
My tapioca. Put it on Matlock for me, young man.
If you're wondering where that guy's from, at Chris Burnham, Batman Incorporated, back in 2012.
Wait, what Incorporated? Batman Incorporated?
Yep.
Skips in the chat said he did some Batman International. Well, I guess that's the same thing with Grant Morrison.
Also,
Die with Robert Kirkman. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that was my number 5. So we're on the top 5 now. Number 4.
Daredevil was in your top 5?
No, Daredevil was number 6. Doom Patrol was top 5. Doom Patrol was number 5. Number 4 was Detective Comics. I got the really cool one with like the Shadow Monster and Talia al Ghul. This was Brad V has been killing it, I think, with Detective Comics. This is one of my favorite books of his that I've read so far.
Up until this issue.
Well, you didn't like this issue?
Didn't like to make the Vigil better than the Bat Family.
You know what? I kind of like the Vigil.
I like having the Vigil, but don't have them be like bossing them, telling them what to do. It's like otherwise there's demands. I'm thinking like Batman would just beat the shit out of them.
Well, they're talking to Batgirl though. They're not talking
Oracle,
to Batman.
yes, but I'm just thinking like, and that's another thing. I'm getting tired of people just being able to hack Oracle's computer.
I didn't hate it.
That's the one thing she has left.
I really like. No, what are you talking about? She has her legs back. She can do all kinds of stuff.
She's been
now.
Oracle.
It's not like she's just Oracle. I mean, she has all kinds of stuff she can do.
She
now.
has been Batgirl.
She has Nightwing. Starfire doesn't even have Nightwing anymore. They gave him back to Batgirl.
When's the last time she was actually Batgirl? Frugal, you were reading those Batgirls.
Heroes in Crisis.
It's been a while.
I really like the whole Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul tie-ins and like elements of the story too. I thought
Ra's
really
is always the blame for everything.
Yeah, freaking Ra's al Ghul, man, dude's like a bad penny. But I really liked it. I really liked it a lot. That's why it's my number 4. Number 3 is a disappointment to me, not because of the interior, but because of the cover. Because my LCS failed me. I did not get the cover that I wanted, so I had to get this lousy cover.
What?
Yeah, they didn't have any of the Power Girl covers.
You just ripped out the first story and the last story, and that is a perfect book.
No, the first story is good too. Okay, now Leah Williams lost me on this one. With the Power Girl story, she lost me. I'm sorry. As the ending part kind of was cool, where they bring back Psycho Pirate, but the first 2 stories are still good though. The first one where it's Superman and all of his team against these Metallos. I did really enjoy that story. It is taking place. They do kind of. I think there's 1 or 2 boxes that specify like how it is taking place in relation to the Superman #1.
Yeah, I read it and I saw that part, and I was like, oh.
I also there was a really cool. I know you don't like them, but there was a really cool scene in here between the new between the 2 kids and John Kent. And this is one of the few times that I actually cared, like what John Kent actually did in a scene. I thought it was really. Childhood. I thought it was really, I thought it was really well written because he's trying. He asked his dad, like, "Hey, maybe we could go play this game." And Clark's like, "Oh yeah, we can bring the new kids and they can learn." And John's like, "It's like when you're the oldest kid, because I'm the oldest." And so it was like I actually felt like I related to John Kent for a split second. I was like, because when the new kids come into the scene, he's like, "Oh." I'm not the only one that has my dad as like my dad anymore. Here's
the reason why it's bad, because it reminds you of what they took from us.
Kinda, but I also think, again, I think there's a unique element here where John is like this older sibling now. And I kind of dug that for the few pages that it was on here. So maybe I have a different perspective. My upbringing maybe just shaped my view on that. But I thought that was a really cool scene.
Metallo, that part was pretty cool.
The Metallo stuff was really cool. I really like what they're doing with Metallo,
and I like how they made the girl a villain.
Yeah, and then the Jan Jurgen story was it was so good. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Cap.
So RDV. You disappointed in this issue because you feel that John Kent's getting the shaft.
And he's when he's not asking for it. Yeah. Seriously.
I get it too. I have the same disappointment there. I really enjoyed the family dynamic story of Superman, and I think they really screwed up and took so much away from it. So much stories they could do by doing this. What was the whole point of doing this? They could say it was for a story, but they could have used all kinds of different characters for that. And like you said, when you do read something like that, it's like, man, look at what we could have had. And look what they screwed up. So I get both of your perspectives. And then you're saying, Zach, you're saying, hey, this is cool. This is what I went through. So that's really cool that you both made these connections with these issues. And I think writers need to pick up more on that. Let's write some true dynamics that you get from regular people rather than nut jobs. And we can connect with it more.
It is weird that they did a story like that where he's reminiscing about I miss my childhood, I age, so far up, and then the next story is like, hey, it's me as a kid again. This is weird.
So that one, the more interesting part of it is definitely the Clark and Lois bits. The young John Kent part is kind of losing me. It's kind of losing me. The artwork is still fantastic though. Like the colors that Elizabeth Breitweiser does are fantastic.
Do you know what reminds you of
this? It's really, really good. Really well done.
Do you know what that story, the Dan Jurgens story, reminds you of? Erratic. The alien. Did you read the second one?
I haven't read any of them. I haven't got.
Wow.
Man,
So,
I'm shaking my head in the background.
Well,
I've got a book here that you haven't read.
Hold
Okay.
on.
I should be talking
School.
anyway. Hang on. This is my review time. You had yours. This is my time.
Real quickly, and then you can go back, Steve. Okay. Ash. So, in the second story, we introduced the Viking girl, basically the intergalactic warrior girl. We're getting the same similar story with John, and that's why I'm liking it more. All right.
Fight. Actually, Frugal, it's funny that you say that, leading into my number 2 book. This is another one that was off my radar for so long, and I'm glad I picked it up. Clobberin' Time, number 1. Actually, speaking of Dan Jurgens, this is the Dan Jurgens cover.
Now you picked that up. I will admit, I know I'm cutting you out a little bit there. I apologize. I picked it up on the comic book shelf, flipped through it, and said nope, and put it back on the shelf.
Really?
I almost got that. Yeah, I just couldn't get into the art at all.
The art is different. The art is very different. There's a reason I didn't get the cover A. I got the Dan Jurgens. But the story I thought was really cool though.
Okay.
I thought it was really neat. It did kind of read like a modern take on the old Marvel 2-in-1s. It's like a self-contained story where the Thing and Bruce, they get sent to another planet, and they have to fight their way out basically. Really enjoyable. I thought it was fun. It was a lot of action. It kind of almost has an Invincible vibe with some of the gore that comes from the fighting. I dug it. The art was a little weird, but I got into it though.
Okay, maybe I'll give it a chance. I appreciate it. I'm glad you got. Once again, that's why I like doing these. I'm glad you got to explain to me, because literally I looked through the pictures like that. I'm out. I don't want to read this, but maybe it's worth it with the story. So I probably should have given it a go.
Put Ryan Ottley on that book, I'll probably pick it up.
Ryan Ottley on this would have been right at home. He would have been my first pick for this, but instead they went with whoever they did. Which is unfortunate.
Spoiling anything really. Skip, if he would take the time and sit down and read it instead of watching Kings games, maybe you'd learn more.
Hey, we have busy schedules. We don't always get to read everything. Anyway, all right. My number 1. This is my favorite book of the week. You know what it is. Vinkman already knows what it is. It's Stargirl, because of course it is. This is issue number 5 of 6.
It makes up all the other books you had on there.
This was a really good. I really enjoyed this issue. Todd knocks it out of the park. He knocks it out of the park with the artwork. I said it. That one was for you, Frugal. That was
I appreciate
for you.
it.
I'm the one that gave you the golf clap.
Oh, was that you? I thought it was part of the soundbite. Oh, okay.
No, there was a combination. You got double applause.
I got double.
I think you hit the wrong soundbite there, Frugal.
I liked that. I like a good pun.
No, this was really cool. I do like how Johns is still able to he's able to juggle all these different characters, these combination of new characters and hidden characters. I like how he's able to bring them all together. Even Secret from Young Justice, which is weird because most of these characters are Golden Age sidekick, and then there's Secret, who was in the 90s in the Young Justice series. She gets brought up in here and shown in here. So I thought it was really cool. And they even teased that the next issue is going to be titled The Young Justice Society. So it's almost like a combination of Young Justice and Justice Society. If that's what ultimately this is leading to, I think that would be a really cool book. Just take all the sidekicks and you just have Young Justice Society. I think that would be a dynamite book to read. And especially if you have Johns and Knock on it, and it's led by Stargirl. It kind of almost sounds like that. Skip knows what I'm talking about when I say this. There was that DC event where all the adults became kids. There was a Justice Society tie-in to that where all the JSA became these toddlers, and Stargirl was the grown-up that had to watch them all. Kind of would be the same thing with this, because she is the oldest, the de facto leader of this group of kids. So I'd be really, really interested if DC let Jeff Johns go ahead with that and turn that into a new series. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And it would also be a nice little subtle middle finger to Megan Fitzmartin's Young Justice series.
It's sad because we're kicking Jeremy Adams off of Flash when he has the 1 minute Flash War. He already brought back Liberty Bell. Can you imagine if he would have got older Judy?
Who's to say he's not? He's done other books. Adams did Flashpoint Beyond with Johns. maybe he gets them for another event book or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
I feel like
DC,
they're going to go back in the direction. I feel like
they
DC wants to go back in the direction of Megan Fitzmartin lately.
They don't hate Adams. I mean, they're giving him another book. It's not Flash, but they're giving him another book.
But they're taking away the book that he was good on.
Yeah,
because they hate Adam's apples.
Adam's apples.
There it is. We're
Bazinga.
Now, what they hate is the traditional family.
That's true.
That is also
Bingo.
true.
I swear
That's not new though.
we are so low budget that Conan O'Brien's 90 TV show is like awesome compared to us.
Oh, I did get this though. Ash, you will appreciate this, maybe. There was a new issue of the series that came out this week, but I have not been reading any of them. So I did get some of the ones that I've been missing out on. I'm still missing #1 though. But I did start picking up Vanish.
Well, look at that.
Cates and Ryan Stegman. I got issues 2, 3, 4, and 5. They did not have #1, I imagine, because it's #1.
How
It's
ironic.
really
The guy who
valuable.
vanishes on Fridays and Sundays for readings.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to be around Friday because I'm moving.
There's nothing this weekend.
That looks like Magog. That looks like a Magog from DC a little bit.
Is that Bruce Wayne through time?
No, it looks kind of like Magog. Remember, with the horns and everything from JSA.
I know. I'm just making a joke.
In Kingdom Come, and then this is the new one that came out, #5.
Very nice. Look at
Yeah,
that.
so I'm gonna be diving into
curious
that.
to see if you like it.
Yeah, I think I will. I like Kate's. I like Ryan Stegman's art a lot. So from what you told me of it, it sounds really interesting.
Now you should go pick up Paradiso and Samurai Doggy. You will set.
Paradiso is really good. So is
Can I talk? So my LCS failed me twice this week. They did not have the Power Girl cover, which I mentioned. They also did not order any copies of Rocket Man and Rocket Girl from Dynamite. So I have a severe vote of no confidence in my LCS's ordering capabilities.
From now on, just put it on your pull list.
I am doing that now. I did put in the Discord to be on the lookout for it. And I know Twin got it, so I don't know if he saw it or not, but he said he would be on the lookout for it. So I got
it happens. I went to my shop yesterday, and I'm like, all right, give me my Hawk the Slayer trade. Oh, it got pushed back to April.
Ooh,
April 26th.
Yikes!
I was like, oh, League of Legends or League of Comic Geeks, you failed me because they haven't updated yet. So I'm like, did he not order it? He just make an excuse, or did it actually get pushed back? I always wondered because. All right, Mr. Breen, do you want to show us off your one book?
Mr. Breen.
Senor Breen.
We might need to do a wellness check. Might need to see if he's alive.
I'll just text Evil Black Cat. He's at the house waiting.
I remember hearing that something about him skipping the funeral and just going straight to the house to get the comics.
Let's see if we could take a guess what Eric Breen's one comic is.
Man. Well, that is tough. It's got to be a back issue because I don't think there's
gotta be. I don't think there's anything else. Nothing I mentioned.
We know it's not Ambassadors.
Yeah. No, I don't think he would have picked up Clobber in time.
Let's see on here.
No New American Chavez out.
Maybe it's Harley Quinn.
No. Maybe Detective? No. Was he reading Detective?
Who?
Oh.
You. We're taking guesses as to what your one book this week was.
It's pretty obvious. I've reviewed the other 5.
So you're getting it late?
Undead Quinn's #1 also.
I remember.
Parker Girls.
Parker
Girls.
Of course. Okay.
How is it? Is it good?
Well, it's.
Did it make your #1?
Yeah,
the only book I reviewed, and it was #2.
It was the whole list.
Was it the worst book you bought this week?
Yes, it was. It was the best of books. It was the worst of books.
There you go, Breen. There should be your videos. You're going to do the worst book you bought this week. And you just had one book. It's all you read.
The worst book I bought, it was also the best book I bought.
He's gonna rate his one book as being mid.
Well, see, then you can get 2 videos out of one book. You do the worst book you read this week and the best book you read this week.
They're still trying to find out who. Yeah, they're trying to get the goods on whoever killed the character that was found dead, floating up in the first issue. Problem is, they get this guy and they basically kidnap him, put him in a cage out in the water, torture him until he tells them what they want to know, and then he's accidentally killed. And I'm making air quotes. And they're like, "Oh well, let's go back to work." So it's like, I don't know why we're supposed to root for these people. They suck too. It's a good book, but it's one of those, you really can't root for anybody because everybody sucks in this. Because like I said, the characters in Terry Moore's universe, I'm not saying they're criminal level bad, but they're something tells me that the Parker girls could date some of the characters from Criminal and everything would just be fine.
So
that sounds like it would be an interesting crossover.
Eric, I'm surprised you didn't get the number 4 of the book that you've been picking up. There's another book you should get.
What?
It's Joe's book.
Oh no, that came out. I got that last week.
Oh,
that was Valley in the Dark, right?
Remember, I recused myself from reviewing it because I said I couldn't be couldn't be unbiased.
Yeah.
So I bought 6 books, so I just
you got really then.
5.
That's cool. You want to show us that sweet cheesecake cover of Parker Girls?
Sure.
There we go. I told you. There's no wolf whistles? Really?
I don't have everything on here. I have
Where's that cartoon born?
I know.
I only have 3 customizable slots and 9 things here, so I have to always add or subtract from it.
Oh, everyone needs a customizable dance slot.
Everyone needs a customizable slot.
Yes, yes. He brings customers to Twitter.
Oh my.
Was that too low?
Was that Java the slot?
Sounds like he needs some Pepto. All right. Let's Breen's one book out of the way. I'm going to do a little unboxing
In
here.
the wrong direction.
Oh, we got an unboxing!
Of in-stock trades.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay.
I'm stuffing here. Oh, yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Don't throw your back out now.
Sounds like Thanksgiving.
Dude, when you see the size of these books, I probably will. I got Deadly Class.
Oh.
2 and 3.
Ooh. Those books look deadly.
Each character on there. Number 2. Actually, that's book 3 is right. Book 3. Teenage Riot. Book 2 is The Funeral Party.
Darn kids and their assassination parties.
So that's 1988 that book takes place in. They actually have. Did they say this one?
How many of us remember 1988?
I was born that year.
The book starts in 19.
Make me feel so old.
Cam.
I said, how many of us remember 1988? And Zach's like, I was born that year. Just to, make me feel, make us feel old.
I was 26.
Yeah.
So now don't you feel like a kid again, Cap?
I appreciate that. You make me feel a little younger.
You make me feel so young.
Hey, the 7th fossil that joined us last night finally pushed me out of the gold medal stand for oldest, so I was grateful to him.
Hey, here you go.
Nice.
Chump 24. So this collects number 17 through 31. And then book 3 collects. Let's see out here. 32 for 44. So I'm adding my collection, and there's supposed to be one more book coming out, at least for volume. It hasn't come out yet though. But
Okay.
yeah, these are nice hardcover deluxe books.
Those are pretty thick.
Oh,
That's what she said.
Two C's.
She said she'd use both hands because they're freaking heavy. Yeah, so that's what I got as far as I guess you could call it back issues.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. And that's all we got for the week, unless somebody wants to come on camera and show some more books.
No, I don't want to. Cause
You don't want to?
if that's what you're hitting at. No, I don't. I probably look like 12-day-old meat. I've had a long
what's the
week.
difference between the other day?
Yeah, it's been a long week. As I said, I barely got my comics read, and I have to shoot my review and get it in the morning. I will say it's been a very mid week with some very low lows. With some good news, though, some of the lows won't continue to be lows because they're going to be canceled. So,
hey, it's good news and bad news.
yeah, well, the way they've done such damage to some characters, you just need to put it to rest.
Right.
It's kind of how the weather's going here. We're in the
So are they really going to be canceled or rebooted?
I think Tim Drake Robin will be canceled. Completely.
I'm
predicting reboot.
Gayer than ever.
I'll be surprised if he sees.
He'll be back in the. Don't worry, June is coming. There's going to be a Pride issue.
Oh yeah, they'll have him in stuff like that. They'll have him in Batman, but I don't think he's going to have his own series for a while. I think the damage has been done pretty hard here. Tim Drake really took it in the end on the series,
which is also what happened on his last date night.
Yeah. But what you have to understand, though, Cap, is the only thing DC cares about is that agenda.
Yep.
Any good books that slip through the cracks, that's just you take the wins.
Yeah.
Tim Drake. The lesson to learn from this is that he wasn't gay enough to reach the audience they crave, and he will come back even more twinkly, more whatever. I said he's gone.
Yeah, that's why I'm predicting a reboot.
The art was better, though. The art did improve with this issue. The art was a lot better.
I'm thinking they're gonna drop Tim Drake, introduce a new character that's even worse. It's a new
character. No, that's not what they do. You can't introduce new characters. You gotta destroy the old.
Let's end on a high note here. Let's show some DCs that are good.
Well, I can end on a high note right now. If you got Game Pass, they're giving away Evil Dead 2, the movie, free until April 5th. So all you Game Pass owners out there, make sure you
get a physical copy.
Go to the perks section and check your perks. You get a free movie.
Oh snap! Or should I say, oh skip?
But I've already got the movie on VHS.
Well, now you can have it digitally.
I think I have it on DVD as well.
Also, so real quickly, I do have the collector's edition. It's from the 90s. What's up, Skip?
Oh, just the playoffs and the Kings. That's it.
his first sentence. You knew he was going to talk about.
I know.
It.
I'm just shocked.
Are we lighting anything tonight?
Tomorrow night. Last night we lit the playoff beam since we clinched. Today is a day of revelry and celebration, and tomorrow we beat the same team again.
Today is a day of rest.
Or a day of rest. It's important. Rest does a body good.
Because this whole
you gotta rest, man. Because Kings fans aren't used to this.
No,
so it's kind of like being a couch potato for 10 years and then going and running a marathon.
It's like
you're just
kindergarten class. You got to have a rest because otherwise you're wired for the rest. And you took yourself out. You want to be able to be excited for everything that's going to come this way. It's the first time they've been in the playoffs, right? How many years?
16, 17 seasons.
Like you guys are going to be like little kids hopped up on sugar, like going crazy, man. Like every game, you're like, come on, I'm just going, and then it's just like you want. And then when
You
they
don't
win,
understand. It's already been that way. Why? Like have I not
I know
told
it's
you
gonna get
how
that's what
many
I said.
games we've been watching and how we knew the team was good earlier? It's already been like that.
Skip is legitimately going to be that guy where he just goes peace and then fades away.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
like-
Hey,
we're
I
not gonna
don't
see it.
blame him. If I was able to go to like the Saints games when it was in 2009, I think when they went to the Super Bowl, if I was able to do that, man, I'd be gone. You wouldn't even see me. It'd just be like poof. So I completely understand.
Skip, are you going to be doing live reviews of the game on Twitch?
Only when the playoffs start. My old co-host who actually started the Sacktown breakdown, he said he'll come back during the playoffs too. So we're both going to be back during the playoffs.
Because I do see on Twitch every once in a while on the just chatting. I do see there's this guy and a girl who do a breakdown of every single game.
Oh yeah, Deuce and Mo. Yep, I know them. They actually both of them work for the Kings and even our G League team, the Stockton Kings. But I know them because I go on their show sometimes. And
oh, really?
actually, I ran into them last time at the game, and give me a big old hug and stuff. Yeah, Sacramento, man. It's like Sacramento it's wide, but it's not that big.
That's what she said.
Poor Zach.
She might have said that.
What do you mean, poor Zach? What do you mean, poor Zach? Where's that coming from? Where'd you get me from it? I'm not in Sacramento.
Like you're a twin, aren't you?
I mean, yeah, we're twins. We don't live in the same
town. Not everything's identical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's why. Yeah, that's poor Zach.
Oh my gosh. Twin, save me. Tell us what books you got this week. Save
Come on,
me.
you're a Sacramento Kings fan, right?
Sacramento.
I am a Sacramento fan, as I am a fan of my twin. Let me see where all my books are. I'm on my exercise bike. No, I read them. I'm halfway through Detectives though.
He's on his exercise bike while doing this. I'm bench pressing. What are you guys doing?
I went for a 3-mile walk earlier today, so I'm resting.
I'm waiting for somebody to start telling the truth.
And I've been moving, so I'm lugging boxes and appliances around all day. So there's that too.
I rolled out of bed. I got up. I moved around. I cracked my back.
Cracked your back.
I got knocked down, but I got up again.
All right.
You're never gonna let it keep you down, huh?
There we go. All right. So we got some Detective Comics. Even though I'm halfway done with it, personally, it is the best comic that I've been reading so far. So this is actually my number one.
Nice.
I got Pepe Larraz cover as well for Ambassadors.
Look, we all got the Larraz covers, man.
We did.
In case anybody's wondering, there's an earthquake over by Skip right now.
There's kind of not. I don't live by the fault. Sacramento does not get earthquakes very often. Let's see. But yeah, Ambassadors. This is my number 2 book. Really enjoyed it. I really like the plot. It's a shame. It was nice to see Frank Quietly back because he hasn't done. I was watching that Mark Miller talk to him. They had a 2-hour-long interview, and he hasn't done a interiors in 6 years. So it was really cool that he came back for Mark.
Yeah, I saw some people were complaining about the eyes on the main girl. I'm like, who cares, man? Everything else was blowing me away with the heart. So the eyes aren't lined up.
I had no complaints. I like Frank Quietly stylized art. I've liked him for. I kind of like Kirby. I started off being like, what? And then after a while, you're like, dang, man, like no one does it like Quietly.
I like his interior art, but I gotta admit that I'm just like Zach. I got the Pepe Larraz cover variant.
Larraz is sweet.
Yeah. I got both of them. I got the cover A and that one, but that was the first one that I bought. Anywho, Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. Got the Michael Allred cover.
Nice.
It says Allred somewhere on there. There we go, Allred, but you can't see it because it's all shiny and reflective, right? Anywho, yeah, Jason Aaron, but I got it for
it's because Jagoda.
These two names, yep.
Jagoda,
and Rico.
yeah. Rico Renzi.
Yep, and Rico, who I did like a 5-second commercial during my Justin Greenwood and it got posted today. And oddly enough, it leads to someone else because one of the people that commented on it was Brian Reber, who did this cover of Local Man with Todd Knock. He colored it, and Todd Knock obviously did the lines. This book I didn't really give a grade to because I really only bought it for the Dragata and Renzi story, which was good. But this comic I continue to be impressed by. It is Tim Seeley and Tony Fleecs together. They switch off on art and script.
Oh, look at that.
How
It
old
looks
is
like a
this?
90s. It looks like a 90s comic, actually.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Yes,
So I'm trying to gauge the Tim Seeley version you got there for writing.
This comic came out this week, so it's and it's really good. Tim Seeley only does this. He only scripts the smaller story in the back, which is I think is like 6 pages or something like that, maybe 8.
Okay.
But the first one was really good. The second one was really good, and then the main story. No, excuse me, I got to flip that around. Tim Seeley did the art for the backup story. He does the script for the main story, and then Tony Fleecs does the art for the main story, and Tony Fleecs does the script for the backup story. Which the backup story is like the history of this made-up character, Crossjack. But this book continues to be really, really good. Issue number 1 was awesome. For someone like me who, like capes is not like the first thing that I jump at when it comes to comics. When you tell an interesting and compelling story and it deconstructs the genre more than deconstructs the character, then it can be pretty interesting and I can get on board with it. So issue number 2, they're still going strong, and it's cool. This weekend, Ramon Villalobos, Justin Greenwood, and Tony Fleecs are all doing a book signing up at Cape and Cal in Oakland. So that really I'll be up there with them.
Is it supposed to be a homage to Maverick?
I don't know.
From the X-Men stuff?
I have no idea. Maybe.
But I'll just say this. I was a huge Tim Seeley fan when he was doing his books back in the day. But as of late, I kind of like strayed away from him. So it's good to hear you got somebody's like he's actually back to writing good stuff, indie stuff. I think it's just really when he does is like the Marvel DC, kind of like Rucka, is when he strays.
I mean, Rucka did Gotham Central.
True.
Yeah, but I mean like current Rucka.
Oh, I haven't read any current DC Rucka.
The last DC Rucka there was Lois Lane 12-issue miniseries. It was
horrible. I thought that was Bendis.
No.
They did the Leviathan?
No, it was Rucka.
It was Rucka.
Okay. Pure TDS.
But Rucka, outside of that, though, there's no TDS in his Lazarus thing. So, like I said, it's good that someone can that Tim Seeley's doing good and you're enjoying the book. But
yeah, I mean, with so many writers, it just depends on the story. I mean, there are a few where don't matter what they're on, I'm probably not going to be interested. But it was an interesting premise. I really like Tony Fleecs, obviously from Stray Dogs, but like I used to buy his My Little Pony comics for my daughter, so he's been cool. I've met him multiple times and stuff. He's a cool dude. So I wanted to support that, but and also Reber, Brian Reber, who I know, he colors a lot of the variants. But honestly, that's the crazy thing. Like I go in really just to support someone, and then just like with Stray Dogs, I come out and it's like, whoa, this story is like really good. And for people who don't know about it, because I thought more people on here were reading Local Man. So essentially, what a Local Man is about a comic book character who is a part of like a prominent comic book team up, and he goes back to his hometown, and when he gets there you can see that he's pretty much disgraced. No one speaks highly of him. Everybody's talking down to him. His parents talk down to him, especially. Like no one really respects him with the exception of like one person. And what you start to gather is that he used to be part of that team and now he's no longer part of that team. And his exodus from that team obviously was dishonorable. So you're kind of put into that situation. And then through the story, more and more, you begin to learn. It's a little bit of a mystery. So you begin to learn like why people treat him the way that he did and what happened with that team. In this issue, we got a few more bits and pieces. And then what's cool is on the other, like on the the backup story, it's very 90s Image, and y'all probably saw that like Shadow Man was on the cover of this, with him, which is Jimmy Valentino's character, Shadow Man from Image earlier on when they first started. So what else is cool is they tie Image character lore into it. So you go back and you get these backstories and you see like older Image characters and and things like this. But you see him earlier on when he was gung-ho, when he was just getting with that team, and you see, just how everybody loved him, respect him. He was like the fresh, cool new character on here. But then in his mainline story, you're seeing like that the team kicked him out. They even like came and checked him and was like, hey, you're not, remember, due to copyright law, because you signed a contract when you got down with us, you can't don the suit, you can't do any crime fighting, you can't even help the police.
Oh wow.
They full on shake him down, and all throughout it, he's not acting like some sort of unsavory character. You're kind of like, man, the way that he gets down, I don't understand why everybody's treating him this way. Whatever the crime was that he did, like, doesn't really fit his character. But something happens in the story. That's the part I'm not going to tell you about, and it's very close to the vest for him. And because of it's a small town, and because of the relationships with the people in the city and who it happened to, everybody's looking at him in a completely different way. And he pretty much has to solve what's going on. At first, he's trying to solve it just to clear his name. But in the second issue, you start to find out that he has an even deeper reason to solve what actually happened. So it's a pretty compelling mystery, and the art's pretty solid.
Nice.
Well, I like everything you've said about the book. What issue was it on?
2.
Just issue 2 that came out yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I never even saw that. I don't think we usually go over the books on Tuesday nights, and then I didn't even see that in the.
Yeah, it slipped under my radar. Yeah, I didn't even see it. Yeah.
So that's good. Like I said, Tim Seeley, I was a big cast, X / one. That's the books he did. So I was really a fan of that. But even those started to get toward a little, as we got later in the series, got a little bit woke for me. But I mean, if Tim is able to write a compelling story and not need to put any virtue politics into it, and actually does a good story, I'm all for it, man. I'll pick it up, because a lot of times I avoid guys because all they do is they spout on Twitter, and then they put the same crap they're spouting on Twitter into the book. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, some people do. I know everybody's sensitivity level on that stuff is probably higher than mine, so your mileage may vary.
Same here, man. But I mean, as I said, like, there's a lot of people who do not like Mark Waid, do not like him still to this day because what he did. But I can look past it, and I actually picked up G. Wilson. Everybody's like, don't get that. I was actually pretty good with the books for Poison Ivy. Wasn't until like issue 9, I think, that's when I dropped it, because it started taking the routes.
Well,
for sure.
You can stomach what Mark Waid did, then you shouldn't have a problem really with anybody. It's like, that's the bar.
I look at it this way: Mark Waid didn't do it personally to me. It'd be more like if guys are getting Dan Slott stuff, because what Dan Slott did to Jimmy, I'm a little more closer to Jimmy than I don't relate your boy Zach. Doesn't excuse what he did though. But it's saying, like he said, he's putting stuff in, but he's actually, like I said, when you put out a good book that has nothing to do with what you say and do in real life, and you're just putting out your best book there is, I gotta admit, it's good writing, But it's everybody's own personal who you want to support and who you don't want to support.
Dan Slott did a lot to me, and I still try to be objective. I look at it from a point of trying to be objective. I can't say I'm never biased. I won't say that it doesn't impact me, but I try to give a book a chance. I read World's Finest, even though I think Wade's a dick. I try some Dan Slott books. I read his most recent Spider-Man, even though I know he's a dick. Because he's done a lot at me personally, not just other people, to me personally. And I still try to give him a fair shake. And I'm not gonna lie and say I do. I think I do, but other people are gonna say no. You don't.
I hope you don't do that around fault lines.
Well, I'll be fair to shake him and push him down the fault line.
I hear you, Frugal. I'm not a fan of Dan Slott, as a human being or what he does. I've tried to read some of the Spider-Man stuff ever since One More Day. Anything Dan Slott does, and I
like
can't
that
stomach
cover.
it.
That's a nice cover. Oh,
We gotta censor this. Get the blur effect out.
Yep, that's the one I'm getting.
that come on! Don't tease me, twin. She's already doing enough of that. What are you doing? Oh, twin.
Like I said,
Give us
cool
the cheese.
cover.
Give us
cool
the cheesecake.
It's a cool cosplay cover, but when you read this story, the inside.
Y'all need Jesus.
Like, let me know. Are you just buying for the covers? Or are you buying it because you're actually enjoying the story?
And story? What?
What story?
You got to read between the cheeks.
They censored that part out, too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's that. Yes, Ash, and I agree. We do, especially me. Oh my goodness. I am. Put me first in line. Good Lord.
Well, if you all need to pray after this, we can.
Marania says Wade doesn't put what he does in real life into his books, where Slott said that he would anger Iron Man fans with his run.
Oh no,
That's
Marania.
Slott style. He loves to try to anger the fans, and that's how he markets his stuff, is by trying to piss people off.
Remember,
Did you not
said that?
See the
That's how
Humanoids
talentless
books
he
that Mark
is.
Waid did?
Yeah.
He definitely put himself in the books.
Yeah, but Humanoids, that was the purpose of that entire company at the time.
Of which he was part controlling.
Oh, yeah, I agree. So, I mean, yeah, he was giving the company.
He might not
what
be
they had
allowed to at DC.
Well, really, Ash? It's encouraged at DC.
Some things are encouraged.
He might be one of those. He might be one of those.
Not
crazy
writing
guys
terrorists. Like
no, but I'm saying, but you know, I'm sure if he wanted to write his own politics into every issue, they'd say, knock yourself out. But I think he's enough of a professional when he's working for Marvel or DC, at least to go, yeah, it's not going to sell.
Well, here's the thing: like Wade was, of course, woke, but that wasn't what he was really known for. What people had distaste for him. It was his violence and his proclivity to like provoke violence. I remember like what he did at CrossGen.
Yeah,
he sent a black wreath to the
he's
owner after his wife died.
Despicable person.
And then he was trying to plot a violent attack on Richard Meyer at a con.
Yeah, but he also, like I said, he absolutely has far left politics too.
No, he does. That's the point. Like he was violence because it was basically if you don't like his politics, then they're going to kick your ass.
Right, but he's keeping it out of DC because DC's having so much trouble selling any books. He writes a book straight down the middle, and it sells.
You can write sparkly rainbow gay characters, but DC hasn't crossed the line of being like, let's do violence against Trump fans.
No, I get that, but he also
that's what I'm saying.
But his world's fine. To his credit, since he's been back at DC, if you didn't know anything about him, you'd have no idea what his politics are, or that he was a complete. Piece
I mean, good for him. Good for him. Like, and look, Mark Waid does have talent. There's no denying that. Dan Slott makes it easy because I wouldn't buy his books even if I did like him. So I don't feel like I'm missing anything. But Wade makes it a little harder because when he wants to, he can be a good writer.
He's never heard that before.
And also, but also remember, Mark Waid was pretty much barred at the door at DC for years. Now that's easy when you're Chuck Dixon, but when you have the right politics and you can't get in the door at one of the big two, you really suck.
Well, I have to say, I don't think Slott can get through the door.
We're not talking about Slott.
I know. I just had to throw that in there.
No, he can get the door. They just have the giant garage door with the forklift.
But maybe Wade was told he's got one strike and he's out again, even though the guy that barred him was gone. But
or maybe DC just wants to make some money for a change.
That would be nice.
Well, if they want to do that, there's a few things they could do to make that happen overnight, but
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
not gonna do
I
it.
know. But like I said, it's the thing with the comic books lately since 2015 for me personally, is that I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And as a comic book reader, you should never have that experience at all. You should always be happy being able to buy it, but it's bipolar being a comic book fan in today's current.
And that's why I am. That's why I'd forgotten about it when you reminded me on that post you had. As long as there's still stuff like that coming out, this hobby will be okay.
Oh, well, yeah, the creepy volume
yes.
1.
They're doing Eerie also.
Yeah. The Dark Horse is releasing them. The first 5 books, I think, it's gonna be volume 1. It's gonna go through. In stock trade's got it too.
It's basically going to be like the kind of books that Tomorrow's does.
Yeah, oversized
so magazine. Be like $20 for 5 issues. That's fantastic.
Yep. And the next one will come out in September, I think, or no, sorry, July.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward. Although it took them several issues to kind of find themselves. Well, at least Vampirella did. I've never read the first couple of Creepies and Eries, so I'm looking forward to that. Yep. Hopefully, those come out of the gate strong. So they have some old EC people working there. Which is
all nice. Right. So Marania is saying, after Virgo's staying in the armor joke about Slot. The only
that
good
wasn't
part
a joke.
Huge. The only good part of Slot Red was his Dr. Shapiro, the talking cat. Slot knew Tony and his parents, Rhodey, Bethany Cabe, Jocasta, Machine Man, among others, in terms of horrendous writing. And then she says Catmull followed Scott with "Hold my beer" in terms of horrendous writing. And so much to the point where Gary Duggan is doing better than mid.
You know, that's funny that said. There's so many comics today where the writer has to look like the character, be like the character. Obviously, that didn't apply to Dan Slott getting Iron Man.
Well, but it does apply to Spider-Man because he had. Didn't he write the Superior Spider-Man?
Slott did.
Oh no, he turned Peter Parker into a sexless loser, so he was doing a self-insert.
Superior Spider-Man, he had to take the fat, overweight Dr. Octavius, which Slott looks like, and give him Peter Parker's physique, because that's all he'll never look that way in real life.
He does in his head.
He did give us the best Dr. Octopus story, though.
What?
I thought it was interesting.
What?
I like this Doctor.
Zach, once again, I am Dr. Rick, and you're the young homeowner that's becoming his parents. that was terrible. Get back here. We're gonna try that again.
I'm lost for words of how you think he wrote the best Doc Ock story.
Maybe best is the wrong word. I was interested. I was interested though in it. I was interested to see how it would resolve.
What volume? What issue is this? So I can pull it up so we can laugh at you.
It's superior. It's just the whole arc.
Wait a second. Why go through the trouble of pulling that up? Let's just laugh at him.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm as a Spider-Man fan, like I don't know what's worse, Slott or Wells.
Slott, based on the pure volume of number 2.
Should be a no-brainer.
Yeah. I don't know. This new run's pretty shitty.
This new run is terrible. Bad. It's garbage, but Slott did terrible for like 10 years.
Okay, well all right. What if we just take like Slott's run in 20-issue increments or excrements? Your choice.
I like that. Yeah, that might be a good way to compare it. If you compare it issue to issue, yeah, that's tough. Yeah. Oof.
Ugh.
Yeah, wow.
So it's what you're saying is this is a contest where both really deserve to be number 2.
Yeah. So which pile gets the most flies?
Yes.
Right. I'm trying to think. He started on the Mighty Avengers. or you know, he started at She-Hulk, went to Mighty Avengers,
Yeah.
and
Are you
then
running down Dan Slott's like bibliography right now?
I look at Comic Geeks. I was curious, what exactly did he?
Actually,
Why are you
Amazing
wasting your
Spider-Man.
time?
Amazing Spider-Man is where it all went south for Slott.
Because he was writing Iron Man too. Yeah. But
His Spider-Man and his Iron Man were terrible. His Adventures run actually wasn't terrible.
Avengers Initiative that he co-wrote with Chris Gage, that was legitimately good.
Mhm.
His She-Hulk was good. He had a
That was because of Christos Gage, though. Let's be honest.
okay,
Come on.
okay.
Yeah, he's waiting for him.
He did a Spider-Man Human Torch 5-issue miniseries that was
good.
legitimately good.
Yep.
He wrote an 8-issue Thing series that was actually good. He just, like I said, something just broke. Well,
he found
what happened was
he
got on Twitter and he got in his chat rooms and he fell in love with his that persona, and he's been shit ever since.
Yeah. His writing
kind of like
on pissing people off on Twitter and blocking people that he doesn't even know or have ever seen, and rather than writing his work and then complaining about how he doesn't have time to do more than one book.
Yeah, if he were a woman, he'd be Gail Simone.
Yeah. So, but I think
I don't want to imagine get like Dan Slott in a red wig.
Really didn't need that image in my head.
Oh, Skip, just picture him Jello wrestling.
Oh, it's ma'am.
I'm leaving.
I'm
leaving. I'm out of here. Oh my god.
I just want to point out that Dan Slott does wear a bra. So what's the difference right now?
It's a bro. He wears a bro.
Hold on for a minute. Let me get that. Put this in my mouth.
Good Seinfeld reference, by the way.
Yeah, good catch, bestie.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's this book called Paradiso. I'd really like to start talking about that sometime soon. To wash this Dan Slott out my mouth.
Yeah.
out your mind's eye.
Wait, why was you gonna wash Dan Slott out of your mouth?
Oh,
that's
come on, man.
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to get it.
Hey, you don't have to worry. Dan Slott can't even reach your teeth.
Yeah, that gut will hit you first.
Wow.
Just think of all the cheese he doesn't get to eat because he can't touch his toes.
Here I thought Frugal was like a good wholesome guy.
I am, but let's be honest, Slott probably hasn't seen his feet in decades.
Oh.
I'm a little overweight myself, so I can pick on myself as well. So, but
I don't ever hear anybody talking about his DC stuff
because it's not anything worth mentioning.
When did he write for DC?
He created Tweedly D and Tweedly Dum, I think.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I think so. In the books,
yeah, that sounds very slottish.
Yeah,
it kind of does. It kind of does. We're about to look up his bibliography, folks.
So Dan Slott worked on Batman Gop Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he mostly worked on were like Cartoon Network comic books. Well, Dexter's Laboratory, Animaniacs, Powerpuff Girls,
Superman Adventures in 1996. You wanted to do?
He did Ren and Stimpy, I think, too.
Batman Adventures,
Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah. JLA. Wow. He was on JLA Classified.
I would read his Ren and Stimpy. That like Ren and Stimpy seems very fitting for Dan Slott. I would actually read that.
I would read that probably.
So
I mean, he's basically like a walking personification of Stimpy. So
what's really funny is he wrote for Marvel in the 90s. He wrote 3 issues of an Earthworm Jim comic.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
That's interesting.
Well, here's Ren and Stimpy was like early in his career, so maybe he did a decent job on the book, and like someone was like, "Hey, this guy's got some talent. Let's put him on Spider-Man."
Wow, he was in Age of Heroes. Did a couple issues of that.
If it was during like when Marvel was in bankruptcy, then it kind of makes sense because they were just looking for cheap labor at that point.
You have a pulse? Can you put a couple words together? Okay, this will work for now.
Arkham Asylum, Living Hell.
Yeah, now never stopped, did it? That's the problem.
But I'd like to say, just for the point of being fair, notice we listed the books that we thought he did that were good. So we're not just crapping on his writing. I think we're trying to be objective here.
I am trying to be objective here. I'm trying to find books that he could have written back then. I kind of probably would have read.
Yeah.
And Batman Adventures back in the early day, Superman Adventures.
Yeah.
Those are books I am currently reading. And man, like I said,
I might have some of them. I'd have to check and see. But I think this is an essential part. We all should be able to look at our career and go, okay, I screwed up here. This wasn't my best work, and we learn from it. Dan Slott, everything he's done is perfection to him. He thinks it's the greatest thing, and he can't take any criticism. And from my experience, especially in the music industry, you make some turds, and being in the studio too, I polished a lot of turds. If people aren't familiar, that means the song sucks, but you at least make it listenable the best you can. And you learn, you take those criticisms, and rather than fighting against it, you learn from it. I remember one time this is a little thing you notice in audio is when you make something, you got to get away from it for a little while and get a fresh listen. Because sometimes when you're making it, the energy's there, you think you did a great job. And then you got to listen to it later on. You get a fresh set of ears on it and you realize this is where your mistake was. And I've made that mistake early in my career doing a commercial. I was doing some music for this commercial and the guy checked it out and he looked at me. I could tell just by the way he looked at me because while I was listening it too, because this was the next day and I had a fresh set of ears. So I'm like, oh gosh, this sucks. This sucks. And he looked at me, he's like, dude, this sucks. I mean, he didn't hold back at all. And that's what they need to learn is this. It's going to happen. You're going to make stinkers. Learn from it. Move on. Quit fighting people over it.
Oh, my gosh. So if you're wondering where Zach knows it from is the New Warriors Annual #1, 1991.
Oh.
Dan Slott was on that.
Nice. New Warriors was good back then.
Right?
Yeah,
because we had editors who would let Dan Slott do what he wants to do.
Well, it was good in the 90s when Fabian Nicieza was writing it.
That's true. Fabian.
Like I said, I don't want to turn into I hate Dan Slott, but I mean, no. I cannot deny that he's one of the reasons. He can blame on the editors not wanting MJ and Spider-Man to be back together, but he doesn't have to write and just say oh, Spider-Man is pretty much a loser, We don't need the whole loser Peter Parker story.
Well, for years now, they've got nothing but a regression of Peter Parker. I mean, Peter Parker, think of how smart he was to create his own devices. He learned from major mistakes. He stepped up. He became an adult. He became a husband. And they've regressed him so much. He's not even a shadow of what he once was.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those things. It's like Spider-Man was my #1 book. I read first. I got out of high school. I read all the way through, all the way up, and then after the one more day, I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. I probably got 4 issues in, and I just realized all it was is when are we gonna have the next redhead that looks like MJ? That was the whole point of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Teasing. Oh, where's MJ? Where's MJ? Because we haven't seen her. We have Jackpot. Here's another character. It just got the point, and then it's this point where every time we come across MJ. Oh, I'm with the new guy, but the whole story was stupid. She knows that Peter is Spider-Man, but Peter doesn't know that.
The best Spider-Man, I think, in my opinion, that I can think of since One More Day has probably been under Zdarsky.
Before Jonah learns the secret, or after?
Even after a little bit, under Zdarsky, at least it was better. I'm not going to say it was great. It seemed like he was putting pieces back together and rebuilding. And, of course, they pulled the rug out and ruined all that again.
Well, they threw Mark Waid on it, didn't they, after Zdarsky? Because that's introduced Teresa Parker, the sister.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I just know what Mark Waid's was
I think Teresa Parker was the Zdarsky Spectacular Spider-Man.
Because they have Mark Waid listed as being one of the creators. That's why I was confused.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know if Mark Waid did a one-shot.
I just know that I did not like the Zdarsky Spider-Man.
But I think we've been going on too long, giving Dan Slott more time that he's worth. There is nothing going on tomorrow as far as Geeky Puppet Show or Sunday. Too many people decided to take off. And Yeah.
Take
We're just-
off. I'm moving. It's not like I'm on vacation.
Well, you're never here Fridays
Drunk
anyway,
and
or
stay there.
Sundays. You're
I was here this past what's that? Friday. I was here this past Friday.
so for those looking for Skip-a-Todd streaming on Sunday, he'll have to have somebody else because Zach won't be able to show up.
No, but the next time y'all see me, I will be streaming from a new location.
Unknown
bathroom.
location.
The bathroom. Yes, my new office is going to be in a bathroom.
I do
I'm-
lots of streaming at this age at night in the bath.
Right before going to bed, and then 10 minutes
Ah,
later, and then 20
yeah.
minutes after that.
Happy birthday, MK.
Oh, you
birthday,
should all sing him
Ken.
happy birthday, guys.
Happy birthday, MK.
All right. So we're going to end it here. If you have Ash's Discord, you want to listen to us discuss Paradiso, or if you've read it, want to join the discussion, that's where
The
we're going to
best
be
book you're not reading.
by Ramsey.
Probably
Is
period.
it better? Is it better than oh, what's that book? Twin, help me out. What's the one? Is it These Savage Shores? Is
I don't
it
think
better?
anything's better than these Savage Shores.
It's These Savage Shores, and in my opinion, These Savage Shores is Ramdee's best book.
Ah, nice. I'm looking forward to reading that.
Mhm. Yeah, it's getting reprinted and reprinted in September.
Nice. Yeah. I think I saw that. Yeah. I think I'm waiting
Mhm.
for the reprinting. Yeah.
Like that's how hot he is now. Like that book came out years ago, and like Bolt, this little tiny imprint, is like re-releasing it.
Right on.
All right. We'll see you on Tuesday, I guess. Next Tuesday. Have fun.
Tuesday.
Check out the auction on I Love Comics on Saturday.
That's right. Check out all of these MegaCon books.
All right. Later, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Farewell.